Welcome to Conversations with Mr. A. This is your host, Anthony Abastella, school counselor here at Chimacum Junior and Senior High. I'll be interviewing students, staff, community members, outside community members, hoping to provide them a voice to share their perspectives and insights. Welcome to Conversations with Mr. A. This is your host, Anthony Abastella, school counselor here at Chimacum Junior and Senior High. I'll be interviewing students, staff, community members, outside community members, hoping to provide them a voice to share their perspectives and insights. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Conversations with Mr. A. This week I've got junior student Adrian Garcia with me. Adrian, thank you for coming in.
All right, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome.
I'll have you in. So, hey Adrian, so first question I'd have is getting to know you a little bit. My understanding is, so you're from Federal Way and then you came in here around the area around third grade. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, yeah, my mom was going through like a rough patch, so we wanted to move like a little bit closer to our grandma. So yeah, I'd say it's about like 9 years ago we moved up here, and then we were actually, for the first like 90 days, we were actually in like pretty much a homeless shelter, and then our grandpa finally bought a house for my grandma, and then we all moved in with her, and then we started school in Port Townsend. Like I was in the middle of like third grade. And then once we finished that, like we ended up transferring over to Chimacum, and then and then my mom meets my stepdad at the time, and then we all moved into this like little like duplex kind of thing. It's like really small. We stayed there about, I don't know, a year and a half until we finally moved, and then back to Port Townsend. So we got like a slightly bigger like trailer. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's pretty much it from there.
I'd imagine that first 90 days when you came here from Federal Ways, I imagine that had to be a little rough.
I mean, in my perspective, I was like 8 or 9. I was a little kid. I didn't really understand much, but I mean, yeah, from like my mom's perspective, was not like an ideal spot to be in, but it is what it is, and you gotta do what you gotta do to make it through.
How was the so you've been here since 3rd, 4th grade. Mm-hmm. How was the experience for you from elementary through junior high up to now? How was it just growing up here those years?
I mean, overall, like, it's a lot better community like than Federal Way. Like, you get to know like everyone a lot more, and I feel like quality of life here as well is like pretty good, because like, you know, it's like a little town, like mostly old people, but like in Federal Way there's a lot of crime and stuff like that. It's like ugly stuff in the streets. So yeah, it's nice being away from that.
Were you able to build some, or I should say, have you been able to build some relationships over the years with just your peers, adults, community?
Yeah.
Good. So another question I was thinking about academics. How did you look at academics from, I would say, when you got here up to this point?
Well, I would say I looked at it like with a good fair perspective. Like I thought it was like good to do stuff, like learn new things. It's like my mom's always like trying to teach me to be self-sufficient, you know, like take care of myself, so I don't have to rely on anyone else.
Good skill to have.
Mm-hmm.
Very good skill to have. One thing I know about you, Adrian, cars. You are into cars.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Well, so I talked to my grandma about this too. I guess she used to babysit me a little bit when I was like a few years old, and I guess she'd see me like all the time, like following my grandpa around with a wrench, like in his garage, because he has like a bunch of cars, you know. And yeah, I guess it all started from there. Like I have a family that's like, my uncle is like a big into cars, my grandpa, and then my other grandpa. So I've just like kind of just grew up like around that every day.
You have a personal favorite type of car?
Probably it's really hard because I'm not just like into like one kind of cars. Like I'm into like a little bit of everything. So it's like really hard to like pinpoint exactly what I like. But if I had a car like I could get right now, I'd probably pick a C6 Corvette.
Tell me why.
Well, I mean specifically Z06 because a few summers ago I was working out at the Mexican restaurant in Port Ludlow, and then I met this old guy that also had a passion for cars, and he happened to have a C6 Grand Sport, which is pretty much the same thing. And then we became actually pretty good friends over the time. Over like he'd come in like every week, and then he said, "You know what? Why don't I take you for a ride?" And then fast forward like a week later, and like I get in the car and I fell in love with that thing.
Do you like racing or just driving fast, racing in general?
Yeah, it's not a good habit like on the public road, but yeah, that's just something you gotta save for like a racetrack because people lose their lives doing that stuff.
It can be a little risky there. I was gonna ask if you're open to share. I know earlier this year, you had a little bit of experience.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah. We're open to share what happened?
Yeah, I'm definitely open. It's good to talk about it. So yeah, I was 5 in the morning. I get up. I was off like 2 hours of sleep, maybe. I don't know why, but I decided, hey, let's drive to school, and then get in my car and like 30 minutes, probably 30 minutes away from Bremerton, which is where I had to go.
West Soundtech?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I kind of like dozed off a little bit, and then I was like, I actually thought about pulling over, but I was like, no, I can make it. Then about like maybe 5 minutes later, I just dozed off, and then I just, boom, rear-ended a pickup.
Oh.
Yeah, it was, I'd say it was a pretty good wake-up call, that's for sure.
How so?
Well, like, just like be more responsible and like take not just for like my own like safety, but like take into consideration of like other people on the road as well.
And I know we've talked a little bit offline. It also, the experience, and then just, okay, you're here, you had to leave West Soundtech, did the classes here. I know we've talked a little bit how your perspectives changed a little bit over the last several months.
Yeah.
Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, I kind of thought like it was like everything was like good, it was all easy, but like after that happened, I kind of just like fell in this like deep dark hole, and I had to like, nobody was gonna help me, so I had to like figure out how to get myself out of that. Like soon as I like transferred back over to like full time here, all my classes, like I was failing almost every class, barely made it through the first semester, and I said I can't keep doing this because like it's, if you stay that way, it just turns into like a habit, and then it affects like how you perform in like out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I said I have to change, and then like I just decided that I can't like feel sorry for myself anymore, and I have to like work, I guess, like work towards like where I want to be.
Was there a time period or a certain time this month, like January, February, where you had that epiphany, like, okay, it's time to turn the switch?
Yeah, I did, because I had to pretty much, I couldn't really rely on myself that much anymore, and I felt really bad for my mom, especially because she'd have to like actually drop me off at work and pick me up, and because I don't get off till around 10:30 at night. It's really late.
Where do you work at?
I work at the Fireside in Port Ludlow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you work at the Fireside, Port Ludlow, and you're also a full-time student.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is, but I've been doing it since I actually started working when I was 14. So I've learned how to manage that pretty well, I would say. But yeah, I kind of just decided, I was like, I can't keep doing this anymore. Like, my mom's paying too much. She's doing like all of this, like going out of her way to do that for me, and I was like, I can't keep doing this. So I just worked hard. I saved up my money, and then I bought myself another car, and here I am today, doing a lot better.
Congrats. What type of car do you got now?
I have a 2004 F-150.
Still a good car?
Yeah. 4-wheel drive.
It's not good. You mentioned you kind of worked your way back up. You want to give me an update, like your grades up, or how did what you got?
This semester my grades are way better.
Congrats.
Yeah, I kind of started off like with a fresh slate second semester and like keeping up with all the work, you know. Like first semester I joined classes like 2 or 3 months late, so I was like kind of lost. But now I'm doing a lot better.
Next year you're going to be a senior. You know, that'll be one of the most important years that you've got. Actually, the most important year, because it's going to be close to graduation.
Oh, yeah.
The others, 10th graders are going to be juniors, 9th graders are going to be sophomores. What would you tell the underclassmen, like our current freshmen and sophomores, as this year ends and they go to the next grade? What would you tell them? These what you could tell them.
Well, it kind of varies per person, but for like the general like underclass, I would say try to focus on getting all your community service in, like your like make sure you get good scores on the tests and stuff, and like make sure you keep up with your credits, because if you fall behind, that could affect like the time that you graduate.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well,
I get to look at it too.
Yeah, take if you can, like try to take an AP class so you can get double credit. That's what I did.
College and high school. So going to the senior year next year, how does the future look like for you?
I feel it looks pretty good. I mean, I have like I'm pretty much like I don't have any catching up like credits wise to do. I'm actually I think in my head.
Yeah.
So
do you have any specific plans after high school?
I have like 3 in case like one like backfires, but I think the main one is joining the Army, so I can go do that 4 years. Then once I get out, like go to school or something. Yeah, I mean there's a lot of benefits too. Like they give you money for housing, and then forget what else there is, but it's really good way to like get started, I feel.
Is there a possibility you might work for NASCAR or?
I mean, yeah, I've definitely thought about that. Either that or, going through Universal Technical Institute and to either taking that program or going through diesel school, like working for Peterbilt or Caterpillar or any of those like top manufacturers.
Cool. Okay, so here's the fun part of the interview, the word association. So I'm going to throw in some words for you. Tell me the first thing that comes into mind. First one, always my most popular topic, pickles.
Rick and Morty, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sports cars.
Sports cars. I think definitely BMW. Like.
Okay. Pickup trucks.
Pickup trucks, I definitely have to go with Chevy.
Chevy pickups?
Yeah, my family's big on Chevy. Like, my uncle, he actually had an accident right after me, too. He had a 2017 GMC Sierra Denali. It was a really nice truck.
Oh, no.
Yeah, big 6.2 liter V8 in it. Yeah, that thing was nice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Actually, before that, he had it's not quite a pickup truck, but he had a 2008 Trailblazer Super Sport. So it's pretty much Blazer with like different bumper, wheels, and then all-wheel drive. And then here's the twist: 6 liter V8 from a Corvette.
Wow.
Yeah, he had that thing, and then the one day he took it to work, somebody stole it. And then it was actually involved in a police chase. It was all over the news, and then they shot the thing up. Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Jeez. Okay. Another
Took a little bit of a twist there.
How about Fast and the Furious?
Fast and Furious. Definitely that scene in the first movie where they have the drag race between Paul and Vin Diesel with the Supra and the Dodge Charger.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely an iconic moment right there.
Classic. The band.
Band. Well, I mean, when you say band, like first thing that comes up to my mind is not necessarily like playing for the high school band, but like Mexican music, like mariachi or like band of music, something like that.
Is that type of music you're into?
Well, I'm like too big into it, but I'd say I'm like pretty invested in it.
Okay. Food.
Definitely tacos. I mean, anybody that knows me would probably say the same thing.
Street tacos any day of the week?
You can't go wrong with a taco. I mean, they're so like the variety is there. Like you can do like chicken, pork, shrimp, whatever kind of toppings you want.
Awesome. Okay, one more. Chimacum community.
Chimacum community. Well, first thing that comes to mind is probably like the school and like the organization, like things that we do for each other around here, like farms, like how, for example, like I think the horticulture class or agriculture, I think they sell food to like other places around here. They grow food for other people, and a lot of like our restaurants actually get local food from these farms that we have. So it's a really good way to like get involved in that and then like get to know everyone.
I can tell you the salads here are excellent.
Yeah,
I can definitely tell it's homegrown. Not a bad thing else. So, okay, any final words that you'd like to tell our listeners out there?
I think that's all.
Okay. Adrian, hey, thank you so much for being a guest. Glad to have you on board. And that concludes this week's episode of Conversations with Mr. A featuring Adrian Garcia. Thank you much, Adrian, for sharing his story. He definitely has a great future ahead of him, and it was really great talking with him. Stay tuned for more episodes of Conversations with Mr. A.